thought I would pop on for a few minutes because I've had a few people who've been asking about ombreing with fine glitters and gel liquids. So I thought I would pop on and while I'm working on my next set today. So I'm going to get started using Bling's base coat. You can use either the rubber base or the typical regular base coat. I always use rubber base when I'm using the chunkier glitters, but with fine glitter, I'm actually good with either. And since I'm going to do at least 2 and possibly 3 layers, I am opting to do just the regular base coat first today to get this started. So I'm just brushing on my base coat on my tip, just making a nice even application, not too thick, not too thin. And then I'm going to start at the cuticle line with my darkest color, and obviously you can go in any order you want. I'm just going to pick some up with my brush. I'm working fairly close to my tip so that I have control over the area, and I'm just going to kind of focus on that bottom third or so of the tip, just dipping my brush in and sprinkling it over. It is not going to fully cover. There is clear acrylic in with the glitter, so it's not going to be a full coverage, and that's why we'll be doing at least 3 layers. So I'm just tapping off. See, I've got about a third of it covered. And then I'm going to go in with that middle color. And the color I'm using today, that first one is Marooned. Marooned on an Island, I believe it's called. I'll peek in a minute. So I've got about that middle part done. Let's peek here. So yep, Marooned on an Island, Raspberry Sorbet, and Copper Rose. So 3 gorgeous colors. And then I'm going to do the Copper Rose over the tip, and I'm just holding the tip over the dip container and sprinkling. So if you notice, I've got the tip here, and now I'm going to go a little bit higher to kind of ombre it in over the middle just a little bit. This first layer is going to really get covered up, so it's not super vital, but I'm just going to kind of tap that in and put it back on my stand. So I'm going to do that same thing with all of my nails. So apply an even coverage of gel. Start with my first brush. I have 3 brushes going. You could clean your brush in between. I just use 3 different brushes so I don't mix my glitters in. These are just cheap brushes I got off of Amazon. They're just eyeshadow brushes, and they work great for ombres. But I'm just going to go in and do the second tip, ombreing the bottom third or so with my first color, tapping it off, going in with my mid color. And this Raspberry Sorbet is a little bit finer dip, so it is going to cover a little bit easier, a little more. The thicker the dip, sometimes it can be a little trickier to ombre, but you'll notice by the end it looks perfect. And then the Desert Rose. Just ombreing that tip and a little bit back. Okay, so I'm not tapping off too much over the dips because I don't want to mix them in. So I'm going to go ahead and I will fast forward through the next 3 nails and just let you watch. So here they are. They're going to go in the lamp for 1 minute cure time. You can check and see they're not thick at all. I know they're not full coverage, but we're going to go in with another layer and those will definitely fill in. All right, so these I have filed. I just thought I'd show you my filing on my final one here. So I just take my e-file and I turn it on 12 or so. I have a medium coarse bit in here. So I don't want my press-on to be super thick by my cuticle. So I go in, let's see if I can zoom it a little here so you can see. So I go in here on the underside and just kind of file it out to make it a little thinner. Bring it around. Bring it around the other side. And then because I'm going to do these with tabs and I'm going to actually wear these for a work week, I'm going to go in and buff the underside of the nail here to kind of etch it. And then I'm going to just thin this out all around. Oops, the glove out of the way. And I'm always bringing my file toward myself, which is why you kind of see that. And then here at the tip, I'm just going to file this, thin it out a little bit. Just make sure this is nice and thin. And then I'm going to turn it around and see, kind of thin out this curve a little. And on the other side. And look at it from the back. Just want it to be nice and thin. Get off any extra little hairs from the file with this. File across the end here so it's nice and straight. Even that all up. Beautiful. Okay. So then I'm just going to take a wipe it well on the top. On the underside, get it clean of any debris, let it dry for a second. I'm actually going to use the other pinky I did for the other hand earlier. It's all ready to go and dry and can go back on my stand. Give them one more wipe with alcohol just to make sure I didn't drop any dust while I was filing. And then I'm going to go in with a final top coat. So this time I'm just going to use my strong top and just finish off one layer on each. Give them a final cook. And this set will be done. So I love a Trimple Ombre. It's one of my very favorites. I've done a few gel ombres, which I love too. They're super easy, but there's nothing like a fine glitter ombre. It's just something about it that just makes me smile. And that's the final step. So just kind of for a recap, you can use regular gel base or rubber base. and just very lightly sprinkle on your glitters and cure, and then do a second coat starting with the opposite end glitter and cure. And then I find that doing a third coat for me works best. I'd rather do 3 thin coats than 2 thicker ones. So I then start usually with the middle color and do it a little bit lighter, and that way if I need to go back and ombre a little bit more, that final coat to get them mixed in well, I can. And cure, and then I top coat, go in and file it up, and then go in with my second top coat. If I was doing dip liquids, after I did my 3 layers, I would actually do a layer of clear dip over my glitters before I activated and cured, and that way it would encapsulate those glitters when I went in and filed. And then you could either do your dip top, or you could do a gel top coat from there. So it works either way. So those will need to cook for a minute, and I'll be right back for the final look. And here they are. Look at that triple ombre goodness. I'll be popping these sets on actually on the weekend because they're going to be my mani next week. The hubby and I are going on a trip for spring break, so I'll have some longer nails on that you'll see soon. But these are going to be my next week's nails, so keep a lookout for those. And if you're looking to purchase, it is the Marooned on an Island, Raspberry Sorbet, and Copper Rose. So there is a trio of those available on the site. Remember, Lisa 10 to save on all of your bling purchases, and I hope to see your triple ombre creation soon. Take care.